All right. Okay, well, fantastic. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining. I'm Naren. I'm the Program Director at Career Success Australia, and tonight's webinar is all about the current and future IT jobs market. And we have four amazing IT professionals that have kindly given up their time this evening to join us and share some of their insights and experiences on how they were at one point in time job seekers, and now they're all working in IT. And it's an opportunity for you guys here tonight to hear a little bit about their journey and also to learn more about the current hiring trends in IT. So you can hear directly from people working in IT, what companies are looking for, what it takes to get into the IT job market. So thanks for joining. We might start with just a quick introduction of our webinar panel members. And I might start just with alphabetical order, which I think means you, Guru. So Guru is, how would I describe you? A DevOps engineer, Oracle specialist, currently working at Coles. Is that a fair description, Guru?
Hi, Naren. Yes, thanks for inviting me here. Great to be part here today. You're right. I started as an Oracle ERP 20 years ago, primarily in all Oracle technologies, development, consulting. But with recent, kind of taken up into the newer cloud and DevOps practices. Throughout the career, it's like a continuous learning and reinventing myself in technology. So this is one part of it. So the next thing is to adapt into the AI and the newer technologies as well. So currently I'm working at Coles. Been here at Coles for almost 12 years now with two different stints. Again, 12 years before, I was at the same position as anyone would have been here today attending. So it's you, Naren. Thanks for all the help that you did. And now I'm working in IT in Australia. So prior coming to here, I was in India. I was working at Oracle Consulting. Been traveled to other countries, been there for shorter stints, but we decided to stay at one location and then don't want to keep on traveling continuously. That's pretty much about me. I'm very, very excited to be part of today's meeting or discussion, and I'm happy to share my experiences.
Fantastic, Guru. Thanks so much. I think maybe Nathan, if you're happy to go next.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Naren, first of all, for coordinating this particular webinar. I'm very excited to be part of the discussion today with all the aspiring and I think the people on the webinar would be the ones who are either in the workforce or all of them are looking for. So I'm glad to be here. Looking forward to some interesting discussion. And Guru, thanks for the introduction as well as another panel member. In terms of my introduction, I've been in Australia for 25 plus years. All my professional career after graduating from a university here in Melbourne has been around cybersecurity, technology, business. Currently, I'm heading a group security function here at NAB, especially supporting the chief security officer in terms of developing the key controls, governance around how do we go about positioning security as at the forefront of our executive and business narrative. Prior to that, I've been fortunate to lead and develop cybersecurity functions for a group university, Victoria University, and I will be glad to hear if there's any student from Victoria University. But I was the chief security officer for a university for 6 years. Prior to that, I've been consulting at Ernst & Young, EY, one of the big four consulting companies, where I started my career. I started my career with ANZ Bank, not in IT, in a call center. And we'll love to share the journey, how I have gone from that, starting in a call center to where I'm today, as part of the discussion and narrative we will have later on.
Thanks, Nathan. Awesome story, starting from a call center and now reporting to the chief security officer at NAB. That's not a bad journey. And yeah, Ranjit, over to you.
Thanks, Ryan. And like Guru and Ethan said, thank you for this webinar that you have actually arranged. And I'm a quality analyst, and I've been into this as a tester for the past 14 years, I would say. And I was actually testing in different countries, like India was a start, and then I was having more experience in the United Arab Emirates, especially in Dubai. And from there on, I came to Australia, and compared to Guru and Nitin, I think I'm not the most experienced one in Australia. But yeah, I came to Australia in Melbourne, and that was in 2019, just before COVID. And then that's the reason why after that, I was looking for a job. And like Guru, Career Success Australia was found by me, and I got a break into the IT in Australia. So that's a different journey, but thank God I got that. And from then on, I got different projects from different domains. And now I'm in Sydney, working for Deloitte. And throughout my testing experience, I've been working with different domains, the companies, as well as big clients. So a lot of different experience is put together. But yeah, I'd like to discuss more about this as we go forward. All right.
Thanks so much. And lucky last, Shika, I think you're somewhere in the webinar. I can't see you on my screen, but yeah, happy to hear a quick intro from you as well.
Thank you so much, Noreen, for this opportunity where I can share my experience. So I start currently I have total over 5 years of experience in data analytics. I started my journey in data automations with some basic tools, and then I moved to Australia, and I was struggling to get the job in the data analytics, but thanks to you, Noreen, that I got the job in data analytics with Flexible Drive. And there I learned most of the tools and everything. And it was a part-time there. But after that, I moved to Healthshare Victoria, which is Victoria's government company, which basically supports Victoria's public health hospital supply chain. And where I'm working with the pricing schedule, supply chain data, and the generating reports and Power BI and all of the basically in the tools and how the business requires and everything. So yeah, it's a quite a journey for me. So yeah.
Yeah, fantastic, Shika.
Yeah.
Great to hear from everyone. And yeah, it's wonderful that you can be here to share some of your insights. The first topic that I'm sort of curious about is how AI is impacting your current roles. Obviously, the four of you guys are in very unique areas, and AI certainly will impact on how you currently work and the future of your positions. Maybe just if anyone wants to jump in, I'm happy to hear from you guys as to how you're currently using AI in your role and where you see it heading.
I'm happy to go first if you like, Noreen. I think AI, I'll take it in two perspectives. One is an individual because it's a new technology, and at work there is still a formulation is happening around it that how would it will be used. But on a personal front, I've been using it for about 2 years now. This is where it becomes very important that anyone who is looking for IT professional career, like people are talking about that, AI going to replace your job. It's not about AI going to replace the professional jobs. It's going to be replacing the professional who are not going to be using AI. So that was my impetus to just start using AI and learn about it. How would I apply that to my day-to-day job, my day-to-day personal improvement and productivity gains? Aspect, especially coming from a cybersecurity, we are looking at AI from two different perspectives. One is a secure use of AI within our environments, because we will be using a lot of data feeding into the AI models for them to give us the answers. It's about looking at how do we secure those models to ensure that either our privacy or our confidential and our restricted data is protected. So it's about thinking about the security of AI models. Then on the other end, we are also using how AI would help me do my job better, which is probably the question, where are you coming from? That way at work, what we're using, especially in the security domain, because we work with a lot of data, and that data sometimes is at a technical layer, which is not user-friendly. Currently, we are using to interpret all the technical information into more of executive and risk language. Where I come from is looking at cybersecurity from purely an impact on the business and how something could go wrong would impact NAB business. And then being able to articulate that using AI. I'm using that to develop my management reports. We are using AI to now consolidate our telemetry data to simplify what we are seeing in there. So it is fast tracking the job of a security analyst. It is helping us also look at the patterns within our data sets as well to see what we may need to be considering as the new models comes in, what we should be thinking about, what could happen in 2 years, 3 years time within the security domain. So I think for me, it's about one, personally developing ourselves and individuals so that we can use and improve with AI. And second is that work as security. Currently, we're using it to both ways, protect our data from AI and then use AI to protect the data.
Fantastic. Thanks, Nathan. Any other panel members? Guru?
I definitely agree with Nathan, and especially on that part where he says the first thing is like professionals who are not using AI are the ones who will be kind of thrown out. Yeah, definitely. And on that, actually, recently I've been seeing this post so much in online, wherein I do have here. Unfortunately, I cannot share it here, but it's a kind of a funny one which says like someone asked AI, "Is this berry safe to eat?" And the AI says, "Hey, this berry is not poisonous. It's okay, you can eat it." And the person eats, immediately he dies, according to this. And the AI then understands, hey, you're right, the berry was poisonous. I relied on incorrect or incomplete data. So what I'm trying to say here essentially is, at this stage, the AI is still learning, it's adapting. So the professionals who are anyone who is trying to go into the AI doesn't want to totally or blindly trust it. You need to still use, you have to use AI, but also use the human sense into it. You should take it as a guide and not necessarily as like complete replacement kind of stuff. So what I mean to say is like even at schools, they're trying to adopt the AI. So we are using AI as like a productivity tool, not like a replacement tool. So which makes the day-to-day work easier. What used to take previously, let's say, an hours or days, now comes down to minutes maybe. And it could probably suggest to something around 50 to 60% of, or we don't need to start from the scratch. It probably could design it or something, which should give a base of around 50 to 60%, which is a great start for us. So which we can complete it faster. But still, all I'm trying to say, essentially, it still requires a human judgment, experience, and domain knowledge. As long as that's there, the AI cannot replace or it cannot take our professions that easily. So that's from my take on the AI perspective.
Fantastic. Ranjit or Shika, did you want to jump in, Shika? Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I agree with Guru and Nitin. So I see AI less as a replacement and more as a, productivity accelerator. So according to me, in my day-to-day work, so it gives me like a faster documentation, generating reports and repetitive works, what you do manually. So it's getting faster there. And in my experience, AI reduces time spent on repetitive work. So I can focus on problem solving and decision making and strategic thinking and all of that. Yeah. So, but I think one important point is the AI still needs human judgment. So AI can generate answers quickly, but professionals still needs to validate informations and everything. So understand business context, manage stakeholders, and make responsible decisions, and all of that. So the people who will benefit most are those who learn how to work with AI instead of competing against it. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thanks, Shikha.
Yeah.
Ranjit, yeah.
My take on AI. Yeah, I mean, I've been using a lot of AI tools recently. And I have seen that even in Deloitte, where I'm working, AI is coming in, and people are actually very surprised when, or they just want to learn more about AI. That's what I saw. So it is changing the way we are working. I was into manual testing for so many years, and as as if you see, as Nitin said, that it won't replace people. The thing is that we have to improve ourselves because we are replacing AI in every stage, in a sense, like in every version, it's getting better and better. So that's one of the things that's happening with AI. Also, if you have heard about agentic AIs, is what is taking over right now with the work. It does make sense. So when we keep focusing on AI, we can use that AI to bring us better and more resulting what we call results to the clients. So that's something even the clients are looking forward to now. That's why what I was doing in manual testing for many years, which took maybe an hour or so, it's taking much lesser time compared, because using AI, all these things are much faster. Being said that, AI of course has its downfalls also. For example, now I've been using different kinds of AI, like just some examples that I've been using, and each has a different style of giving out results. So if you want something, you need to find out which AI is best for you, and that's the reason why we have many other options that the company provides, and we use the best. So AI is changing the way of work, but then we have to see which is the one we would want to use. And a lot of experiences with AI that I had was quite funny. Sometimes even the AIs fight against each other. That's something you must have not experienced when trying out AI. If I just take something from Claude and give that work to maybe Gemini, and Gemini says, that's not the way it should work. It should work this way. So that conflict does come in between both of them when I actually present them that this is from Claude. So, but what we are getting from it is a really good result. And that's what we should be focused on and use it for our work, be it testing, be it cybersecurity. We should try different kinds of AI so that we can give what the client wants or what we actually desire from it.
Yeah, fantastic, Ranjit. I think linking to AI, we're seeing a lot of companies sort of pause their entry-level hiring because of their interested investment into AI to maybe do some of the very manual basic tasks. So just on that theme, what are you guys as senior IT professionals? What are you guys, if you were hiring, what sort of skills and attributes would you be looking for, in the up and coming junior IT professionals that would be, joining the firms you guys are working at? Are there one or two things that, you really look for, in junior IT people? If anyone wants to jump in?
I would say maybe the desire to learn is something very important. I mean, if they have the desire to learn about AI, or that's something we will be looking forward to. If he doesn't have the desire to learn, then I don't think there's much we can do in progress with this great progress. Right?
Yeah, it's really that having a positive attitude, I guess, Ranjit. Yeah, fantastic. Anyone else? What attributes or qualities are you looking for in the junior IT people coming through?
So I would say build practical experience. So employers value hands-on project very highly. So this could include internship, university project, GitHub portfolios, freelancing, and everything. And the second thing is most important is communication skills. So technical knowledge alone is no longer enough. So you have to communicate with the stakeholders. You have to, explain your technical findings to non-technical person who can understand your data, your perspective. And I think, and other than that, I would say learn continuously because technologies are changing very fast. Graduates should build the habit of continuous learning, So I think that's the main thing, and learn AI and automation tools, build in your projects and everything. So I would go, yeah.
Thanks, Shikha.
Definitely agree to
Yeah.
that, Shikha. Shikha's stuff, I definitely agree. Um, the market is competitive at this stage, what I see, but I don't
Yeah.
see that the opportunities doesn't exist at all. It still exists. Um, but I think, as Shika said, the employers prefer more who can demonstrate practical skills rather than just qualifications. So it's better to be standing out through some kind of projects or internships. Um, and it's absolutely right. We have to keep on adaptable as possible and continuous learning.
Yeah, fantastic. I might just come to Ranjit, because Ranjit is someone who I know has done some pretty innovative things when it comes to standing out as a candidate. I'm not sure if it was your current role, Ranjit, where the video interview or the video introduction, I should say, really helped you. But do you want to just tell everyone here the innovative things you did as a job hunter or job seeker in IT and how that helped you?
Sure, Naren. So when of course, most of the tips that improve my chances of getting a job in Australia was from Career Success. And I just added a small thing to that. I just added a video when I was sending it to the clients, like, what my experiences in just 2 minutes. I mean, most of the clients don't have time to see. So I actually mentioned that it's a 2-minute video. And actually, I got a call from a client who actually said, or where I was giving the interview, saying that this is something different that we just saw, that there's a video resume that you have provided. And there was something I just click of in, why not just try it out? And with respect to Deloitte, where I was working, there I added one more thing into the video. I added some AI elements into it, and my experience with AI, I just showed them, and that's the main reason, probably, which made the person who was actually looking at my interview recall resume and application, that there's something here that I wanted to check out. And I asked them in the interview about this, and they actually said yes. That's one of the main reasons why we actually liked your application. It's because of the AI thing that drove them to that interest in my application. So yeah, if you're going for a job, I think you need to stand out. So to stand out, you need to try different ideas, different things. And now since we have AI, it's really a good thing that will actually catch their attention, and we should keep trying it.
Yeah, fantastic, Ranjit. And certainly, and Guru, you mentioned in a competitive market, you need to often do these types of things. Just sending out CVs on Seek may not be enough. And from my point of view, building really strong networks is really important. And I know Nithin, who's on the panel here, has a really wide network of people in not just IT, but all sectors. I might just come to that theme, which is how important is networking in getting a job, and any tips that you can share to people here tonight.
Yeah, I think, just to wrap up on what other panel members have just shared, definitely AI changing the way we are hiring people. You need to have those skills. You need to stand out. Now, I think I just saw a question there as well. One of the participants, about Jill, who has asked if the entry-level stepping stones are being taken away through the AI doing all those basic jobs. How do you stand out? And this is where, to now relating back to your question, Noreen, I think what would stand out is your creativity, is your curiosity, and the third point for me is the connection. That connection or a communication. The connection is the networking part. So if as an individual you are curious and you're creative, you would stand out and you would use AI to your advantage. I think, Ranjit, you use those kind of videos. It's about how the students would stand out in that market by becoming creative about positioning themselves. Will separate them out from someone who's just sending a CV. So that's the first part, being curious. I think it's being just asking those questions, and AI would not replace curiosity. And curiosity drives this creativity. Curiosity drives what you can change and make these things out of. So I think being curious and continues to ask questions, continues to involve and engage with people is going to be that. And the curiosity leads you to communicate and connect. And this is where in Australia, what I have learned over these years of 20 plus years, it's not what you know, it's who you know what works most of the time. Apart from my first few jobs, which definitely came through, like as I said, I joined a call center, which just came from me applying a job and having a bit of a chat with someone, and then someone thinking that, okay, yeah, I think you can take a call. But from there on, anything which I have got my was through my curiosity to go and speak to someone in IT and saying, hey, I want to do what you do here. And that has led me to get my other jobs, and that has led me to build those connections because I was curious. I wanted to know what this other person is doing and then trying to have a coffee with them. So networking happens through this kind of an Australian context. We have a strong coffee culture. We have a strong beer culture. We have a strong evening culture. I think use that to your advantage. If any one of you want to reach out to someone, I think just reach out and say, hey, I want to learn what you do. I want to understand how you become what you have become. People will be more open to come and join you for that chat. But if you go and ask them for a job, I don't think so. Most of the people will come back. But I think go for that connection, go for that coffee catch up. That will always help.
Yep.
Fantastic, Nathan. Shikhar, did you have any comments on the networking side of things? Has that helped you in your career at all, or is it something you're planning to do later on?
With the networking side, so basically, what I do when I go for any job and I'm looking for any job, I look for a hiring manager or something, and I approach them with, "Hi, this is I'm looking for." So basically, I use LinkedIn as much as I can to approach recruiters and everyone. So this is my understanding with this. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. And just a quick sort of reflection piece as well. I guess if you guys think back to when you were sort of, looking to get into IT or you were job hunting, how much emphasis do you put on, say, Seek or just applying with your CV, to networking? Is there a secret strategy, or does it come down to persistence or hard work or knowing, or as you said, Nathan, it's who you know? Is there any single one piece of advice you could give people here tonight?
I could give one advice: just tailor your resume according to the job role and descriptions. Because I've been doing this thing and I've got 3 calls with this, currently tomorrow I have interview with Bendigo Health, which is also a public sector. So I think just use what job description is given to you and tailor your resume according to that. Just use keywords, what are all they want. So if they are using, for example, because now ATS are there, automatic tracker system and everything. So I would suggest just to tailor your resume according to the job description every time, sir. So for example, if I'm applying for the 10 jobs, I'm applying individually, checking all the requirements and changing my resume and then applying it. So this is my process of doing and applying for the job. And I'm sure that definitely you'll get some call according to this process. Yeah.
Yeah.
And have you used AI to?
Yeah, I used AI with this. Yeah.
Yeah, and how do you prompt, Shika? What do you do to ensure that you're getting the best
So
optimized?
basically, I have Claude. So in the Claude, I have made a project where I've, uploaded my basic resume. And whenever I have to, apply for the job, I just copy and paste that job description to that project and just write like, can you just tailor this resume according to the job description, but don't change my basic one because yes, my the basic ones. Yeah, so that's the thing I'm doing right now, and it's pretty effective. You should
Yeah.
go with this process, I would say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
I just have another sort of question on how you can sort of future-proof your career. I mean, there'll be some people here this evening that are trying to get into IT, but obviously what you read and what you hear from experts, they say the market is changing so fast that the jobs, IT jobs today may not exist in 2 years, 3 years time. Because you guys are in the market and in the industry, what's your sort of, if you had a crystal ball, what's your sort of prediction to where, you know, the IT job market is heading? You know, where do you think the demand is going to be? Is it in software engineering? Is it in automation testing, data centers? What would be your sort of prediction?
I think I can just give you a very simple answer. I think one answer is that it's very difficult to say what's going to change because things are changing so fast. But in terms of where the jobs and the people who would be in the workforce, as we have discussed before, is the people who know how to use AI and becoming those either the orchestrators of using AI models, agents into your work environment. So it'll be more about the managers of agents, for example. It'll be the person who can communicate effectively the use of AI and make a use of AI to solve a particular problem for an organization. Yes, and like as we would have all seen, development, I think, is fastly changing, and I think the CEO of Anthropic and everyone is just saying, you know, those are the jobs which will much more faster to be going. If you are developing, your probably is not going to be relevant tomorrow because these models are developing much faster and quicker, and they are changing themselves so fast. So I think that keeps the development on side. Then coming into those other areas, for example, if you know, Ranjit, you're from a testing background, and I'm sure you will share better than me, but in the testing, you would be still testing a lot of models, and you'll be testing the agents and integration of those agents, how they use the data, what they do is. So it's just being able to use them to do that job is what the kind of skill you would need. And this is where anyone who's looking to break into it, it's about using, and on some personal projects, if you use it, then you can apply and you can communicate that I have used it to solve my personal problem. I've used it to solve my community project. I have used it to solve my university project. And this is how I see it to be translating into solving a bigger corporate or a business problem. I think it's those kind of people who can communicate and use them would be taking on these jobs very easily.
Yeah. Any comments on that, Ranjit, as to, you know, the future?
Actually, yeah, it is. It is. I mean, like we do have testing related to AI models. That's actually a model that we're testing, which is respected to AI, that if it's working for the company or not. And then that results into an AI agent where they actually use it. Some are very slow, some are very fast, but that's the reason why we keep on developing it. And with respect to people, actually, how it will go in the future, I think that it depends on, I mean, I'll give an example where, imagine that you are a mountain climber, for example. You're a mountain climber, you have, your skills are what you are with respect to the testing phase, I'm saying. But the tools that the what do you call the climber uses, he uses different tools to reach up. But in the end, if he does not have that in him, that strength in him, he won't be able to use the tools. Similarly, tools are there for us today. But the thing is, it's us, our skills, how we develop ourselves, our knowledge. That's what is going to take us ahead, because tools keep changing. Some years back, it was Selenium people were thinking. Now it's not just automation, it's actually codeless testing or no code testing. Those applications are coming into limelight. So Selenium is going down now. So in a sense, it won't be completely going, but I'm just telling you, things change. So we have to keep using those tools, but in the end, it's our skills. Keep developing, like Shika said, the soft skills. And the other kind of skills that you have that is there with you, keep developing that. In the end, the tools that you use, or whatever comes in at that time of the generation, you keep using it. And like the mountain climber, keep on climbing. And that is something I think have a good perspective will lead you ahead.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks, Ranjit. And just going back to the networking topic we were on before, you know, one of the reasons of having this webinar is to obviously, you know, showcase the four of you guys. So I think it's really important for people here this evening, a really easy way to build some connections with people from industry, particularly from some of the big organizations like Deloitte and NAB and Coles, is to reach out to the panel members on LinkedIn. And that is a really easy way to build your connections with if you're an aspiring data scientist or reporting analyst, you've got Shika who's sharing her experiences, and that's an easy way to to connect with people from industry. And the more that you do that, I think can have a huge impact on your career. I think going back to what Nathan said, it's often who you know, and getting opportunities through your networks is becoming more and more important. I want to just reflect back on at a point in time when all four of you were sort of job seekers. Have you ever gone through a rough patch where you were trying to generate interviews, or you're trying to get a job and you were talking to recruiters, but nothing was working? I think we've probably all been in that situation. How did you sort of pull yourself out of that, or how did you stay motivated to not give up when you did find the market tough? Was there anything that you did that really helped you that you can reflect on? Happy for anyone to jump in.
I can take that up. As a first, I think it's regardless of our experience, there's always comes these situations and times when we are going to struggle to find the job we're looking for. So if I link back to the first job, I think that first job in a call center, I probably got after applying for maybe 50 to 60 plus jobs. So finding your first job is always, unfortunately, is a challenge here in Australia from my personal experience. And I have met a number of students. I was at Vic Uni, and I would speak to students as part of my job to help them learn. And I would see that first job is always going to be challenged, but that challenge shouldn't stop you from putting that effort in. Even in my not very recent the job before, it took me good 3 to 4 months before landing a job. Even though I had a network, it's to ensure that the opportunity is right. But what works is that persistence, that you need to be out there talking to people and understanding what's happening, regardless of the level of the job you're applying. If even you're applying for an entry-level job and you want to get a job at one of the big four, for example, you need to go out and speak to people who are into the big four, either at a graduate level, your friends who have got it, or your friends' friends who have got the job. So you've got to be going and speaking to them. So that is must. Second is then you need to find the people who probably would be hiring, and then trying to find the network around them. But the key part to it is, apart from you having the right CV, apart from you showing some sort of a capability with all those sort of home projects and other things, is about just being out there. And then I think the other motivation comes from you may get rejected a number of times from the jobs. I don't think so. You should think about it's me who's being rejected. You need to think it's not that job wasn't fit for me, or I have a better option to think about. That has helped me a number of times when I got rejected for a job, or I didn't, and I thought that I'm the perfect candidate, and that's what they're looking for, and I will get the job, and I'll make this organization succeed, but then I was not hired. I think instead of beating myself that probably I failed here or I'm sure there would be some things which I could have done better, but I think thinking about it, maybe this wasn't the place I'm supposed to be, and I'm supposed to be at a better place, at a bit different. I think those kind of positive reinforcement and thinking also helps. And at the same time, getting some support system or some help from professional agencies like, in your company, for example, or to reaching out to the professional like us and having a bit of a chat as well. So just finding people to speak is always going to help you motivate if you're struggling to get that job. Yeah, that's what my experience has been, because that's how people have helped, and that's how I have helped myself.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else would like to chip in with their sort of job seeking journey and some of the hardships that you've encountered?
Yep, I can. 2019, I come into Australia, and with so much years of experience in testing, I thought it would be not so difficult to find a job here. And once I started applying, I kept count, like it's 100, 101, 102 applications are getting rejected, or not even getting much calls. And surprisingly, even today, I get some friends telling me that it's the same situation. They have applied for hundreds of jobs, but they don't even get calls. So then the thing, even when I was trying for the job in 2019, I got a call from a recruiter and saying that we like to, but the problem is you don't have Australian experience. I was like taken aback, like why? I mean, like if Bill Gates comes, will he be asked for Australian experience too? Not sure. But the thing is that that's something that we had to look into. And then that's when I was searching. And I think I needed a break where I got that job in Australia. And that's when career success came into my limelight, you could say.
Yeah.
And that helps actually, that experience actually helped me get even more projects, more work. And that stepping stone was required in Australia. And I think that's what even people need to do. They need to get that break in Australia, which will actually help them get further opportunities open to them.
Yeah, fantastic. I've just got another sort of theme that I want to touch on, which is going to job interviews. I know I haven't briefed the panel on this, but I know all of you guys here have attended an interview, and as Nitin has said, he passed some but failed some. For people that are here this evening that are applying for jobs and getting interviews, are there any tips or insights that you can share based on your interview experience in the past or currently? I think Shika, you mentioned you've got something coming up. How do you guys approach interviews? Any tips or insights that you can share to people here who are also attending interviews?
So I can say, according to the public sector interview process, so they are more focused toward behavioral and value-based questions. So they have like a structured pattern of the interviews. So mostly 70% behavioral questions they asked, like tell me about the time you have this experience, tell me about the time you have worked with a large data set, and 20% technical and some of value-based questions. So this is a process which public sector is, focusing on. And I also wanted to give a tip to the people who are looking for job. So just set a notification in the Seek, so when you apply, so when you get the job, like it's like whenever I apply, it's like posted 2 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago. So it's like a first come first service. They see the resume like for 10 people, I think start if they find up, compatible job profile, so they go forward. So that is how I got job in HSV. It posted 2 minutes ago, and I just applied it, and I got the call next day. So I would suggest just use this trick, set the notification, the time you get the job notification, just apply it then and there. Yeah. So I just wanted to make, yeah.
Yeah, 100% Shika, because part of our work is in recruitment, and it's speed. We work with a couple of companies, and they work with multiple recruiters. So there was one company we were working with, and we won the assignment to recruit for one of their jobs, and they had 3 other recruiters also finding candidates for the same job. And so when I posted the job on Seek and I was searching, I could see 3 other similar jobs. I'm like, they're using other recruiters. And there was probably half a dozen candidates that I'd spoken to that were really good. And they said, is that this job with that client? And I said, yes. And they said, well, we're already working with another recruiter, which means we can't obviously take that candidate forward. And speed is absolutely critical if you see a job with a recruiter. And I think, as Shika said, if the job is advertised within a couple of minutes, within one day, you've really got to do what Shika's doing, keyword optimize your application, lodge it, ideally with a video introduction like what Ranjith does, just to stand out amongst the crowd. And then call up the recruiter, because you never know if they've already identified 10 candidates that they're shortlisting. If you're the 11th, but you call up and you have a really good conversation, that might get your application pushed up into the list of candidates that they'll send off to the client. So yeah, that's a really good tips there. Any other comments on interview tactics or strategies that you guys have used, Ranjith?
Well, I was just giving you a thumbs up to Noreen for that point, actually, Noreen. But anyway, I would say, like following up on these things are very important. I think after 1 or 2 calls is when I got the interview result, like, can come over. And I was the only one invited, probably for the interview, I'm not sure. But what it was, following up is really important because that actually puts you into the mind of the recruiter. And depends on how your skills are. I mean, but looking at your resume, they won't know much, but interacting with you is what actually takes us further ahead. So I think communicating with the recruiter is very important. Be a friendly or a different kind of, depending on the situation, communication speaks. And when you actually provide that communication level, that sometimes sets you apart from the others. That's what I think actually triggers that interest in the recruiter sometimes.
Yeah. And just a quick one on that. How do you guys prepare for interviews? Do you have a particular process, or how do you really ensure that you give yourself the best shot of getting the offer?
And I think what I do is nowadays we have a tool AI. So for this position, what do I expect? What questions do I expect? And what are the answers? And of course, just getting the questions is not enough. We need to practice to get that thing being said in front of the recruiter.
Yeah.
I would say whatever you have written in your resume, just prepare it very well. For example, you have put any project in Power BI. So just prepare everything for the cross questions. And because for the IT graduates, you don't have a, industry experience right now. So mostly they'll ask about your project, what you're building right now, what you have worked on. So just what they'll not ask you out of the resume, mostly basis on what you have done. So I would say just don't go out of the resume, but you should know what you have written. And when they ask you question, you should reply like, yeah, this is what I have done, and cross questions. Yeah.
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 If I just add on top of that, I would say probably if it's possible, if you can research about the people who are actually hiring and see what actually they are looking for, probably search them in LinkedIn, what kind of role they're actually looking, what is that they're really interested in, and then point it out to say that, hey, this is what I can bring. That would really differentiate, that would really help in standing out. And also after the interview, and it's not just a push or something, it's just to send out an email or something to say that, hey, it was a nice discussion that we had. So that would actually, even if I don't get the opportunity right away, actually it has happened to me that I didn't got the opportunity straight away. But in a month to 2 months, I got a straight away call. That was not even advertised. They call me and say, hey, would you be interested? So it would straight away take skipping all the application process and stuff. So I would say that have patience, even if it's rejected. I would still encourage to be in touch with the hiring managers, or not like a push of that I want a job or something, just to follow on the post that they're sharing in LinkedIn, for example. So that helps in getting the job a little later, which would essentially skipping all the application process, applying in the Seek or anything. So they would reach out directly to the youth.
Fantastic, Guru. Thank you. I just have one last sort of theme to cover, and then we'll have some Q&A. Obviously, Ranjith, your background is in software testing. Nithin, you're in cybersecurity. Shikha, you're in reporting analytics and data science, and Guru, you're in DevOps, which are probably the 4 hot themes when it comes to people wanting to study or get into IT. I think those are the hot areas. If I could just go around to each of you and ask, what would be the top 3 technologies or tools that are must-haves in your particular areas of IT today? I think that's important for people here who are aspiring to get into your particular areas of IT. What are those top 3 must-have tools, technologies, or knowledge that job seekers or candidates should have, or graduates should have? Yeah, Guru, did you want to start maybe in your particular area?
Well, for graduates at Coles is hiring graduates every year. So they have like a rotation. So they don't really look in what technologies they want to. I think they probably look into more of adaptability, how quickly you can learn, and things like that. But at Coles, what they generally do is they rotate. So it's called a graduation program kind of. So runs for 2 years. So what happens essentially is every 6 months they rotate from one stream to another. For example, the person might be doing something in some technology, then he might be rotated next to the cybersecurity, for example, or he might be rotated into the stores platform or the DC platforms or something. So they get to know totally what's happening around the goals and the business, which would then give them an option like, hey, where you would like, what is your interest? So that's something which is happening at Cole. So in terms of technology, again, so the core concept is what is important. So today technology is something, and tomorrow it can change. So as long as I think if you are continuously learning and you know the base core technologies at the side of that, I think should be comfortable. However, the current trend, what's happening currently is all in the DevSecOps, which is DevOps, not just the DevOps plus security. So that's something to be considered. For me, I think I would say is adaptability, learning. Of course, it is continuous learning, but these are the two main stuffs which I would say.
And if I could just push you a bit more on that, Guru, which is, if I was an aspiring DevOps engineer, what emerging technology or current technologies should I know as a DevOps engineer?
Oh, well, there are plenty of it. But again, so the main thing is all in the cloud for now, to be focused. So the three major is the AWS, GCP, and Azure. They don't expect, to have all these three knowledge in all the three. But the thing again here is once you know one, you can quickly adapt to the other two platforms as well. Again, these are the major ones, but we have more than other cloud platforms. Again, my point essentially is that focus on the basic stuff. For example, even from the DevOps perspective, hey, you're provisioning something. You're provisioning, let's say, an IT. So that is required whatever the cloud platform is. That doesn't change.
Yeah.
The networking part of it. So that doesn't change. So as long as you know the basic part and how the technology is, then that comes the second.
Yeah, fantastic.
So we can quickly adaptable.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Guru. Shika, what are the sort of really must-have technologies and tools